After months of headlines about cuts and costs and everything at the store costing more, I want to do the opposite today. Because right now, in 2026, there are three separate programs with real money attached, each one with your name on it, that most seniors watching this will walk right past. Not because they do not qualify, because nobody ever told them these existed. One can wipe out a bill that is being pulled straight out of your Social Security check every single month before you ever see it. One can take a real bite out of the heating and cooling bill that hits you twice a year, and it covers more than most people assume. And the third is an entire second monthly check that a significant number of seniors are convinced they are not allowed to receive, and they are completely wrong about that. Study after study finds that roughly 1 in 3 older Americans who qualify for these programs never claim a single dollar. These programs pay out only what you apply for. There is no person whose job it is to look at your situation, pick up the phone, and tell you the door is open. The benefits sit under confusing names behind applications most people never see. My name is Mason Parker. For over a decade, I have studied retirement benefits, senior tax programs, and the financial rules that affect seniors every year. Today, I am walking you through all three programs in plain English, with the exact 2026 income numbers for each one, not vague descriptions, and the precise way to claim each one. If you are serious about making sure you receive every dollar your situation qualifies for, this channel covers these rules every single week. The people who are subscribed act on this information when it matters. The ones who are not tend to find it after the application window has closed or the funding has run out. Hit subscribe right now and turn on the bell. 3 things to hold on to through this video. First, I am giving you the exact 2026 income limits for each program because the numbers being shared in most places are too vague to actually help you decide. Second, if you looked at any of these before and got turned down or assumed you made too much, the annual COLA adjustment moved all the income thresholds, and you may now qualify without changing a single thing about your own situation. And third, I am covering a specific scam that targets seniors around each of these programs, because wherever there is money seniors can claim, someone appears trying to charge a fee for something that is completely free. Let us start with the one that can stop money from leaving your Social Security check before it ever reaches your bank. The first program is one that can stop from being deducted directly out of your Social Security check every month before you ever see the money. Surprise 1. The program that eliminates your Medicare premium. If you are on Medicare, you are almost certainly paying a monthly Part B premium. That is the portion that covers your doctor visits and outpatient care, and it is deducted from your Social Security check before the deposit ever reaches your bank account. In 2026, that premium is $202.90 per month. Before your Social Security touches your account, $202.90 is already gone over a full year. That is $2,434.80. Quietly pulled from income you earned and are supposed to be living on, there is a program. It is called the Medicare Savings Program, and depending on which version you qualify for, your state pays that premium entirely on your behalf, not reduces it, pays it, which means that $202.90 stops disappearing and your monthly Social Security deposit goes up by that amount. For a lot of seniors, that is the single largest raise they will see this year. The Medicare Savings Program has 3 tiers, each with a different income limit and a different level of coverage. The most generous version is called the Qualified Medicare Beneficiary Program, or QMB. The 2026 income limit is $1,350 per month for a single person and $1,824 per month for a married couple. QMB does not just eliminate the Part B premium, it eliminates your annual Medicare deductible and every copay and coinsurance charge on every Medicare-covered service you receive. After a doctor visit, no bill arrives. After a lab test, no bill arrives. The state covers all of it. The second tier is called SLMB, Specified Low Income Medicare Beneficiary. The 2026 income limit is $1,616 per month single and $2,184 per month married. SLMB covers the Part B premium only. That is $202.90 eliminated every month. $2,434.80 returned to your income every year. The third tier is QI, qualifying individual. The 2026 income limit is $1,816 per month single and $2,455 per month married. Q. I also covers the Part B premium completely. One important note on QI, it is funded on a first-come, first-served basis each calendar year. When the annual allocation runs out, new applications go on a wait list. If you are near the QI income range, apply early in the year rather than waiting. Before you decide this is not for you, stay with me for a moment. The income limits are consistently higher than most seniors guess. A single person with monthly income up to $1,816 may qualify to have the full $202.90 premium eliminated. Here is what many people do not realize. The income calculation used for this program is not your gross monthly check. Various exclusions and deductions apply that lower your countable income below what you actually receive. People who are confident they make too much often land comfortably inside the window when the actual numbers are run. Do not disqualify yourself at your kitchen table. Let the application calculate your actual eligibility. Here is something almost no coverage of the Medicare Savings Program explains, and it is one of the most valuable parts of enrolling. When you are approved for any tier of the Medicare Savings Program, you are automatically enrolled in Extra Help for Medicare Part D, the federal program that reduces prescription drug costs. You do not file a separate application. The enrollment happens automatically as part of status. With Extra Help active in 2026, your maximum drug copay drops to $5.10 for generic medications and $12.65 for brand name drugs. There is no Part D premium and no annual deductible. The Social Security Administration estimates the average annual value of Extra Help at approximately $5,700 per person. That benefit arrives alongside the premium elimination, with no additional paperwork on your end. Here is the scam running around this program right now because it is active and targeting seniors specifically. Companies and callers contact seniors claiming they can get their Medicare premium eliminated or refunded, typically for a fee ranging from $200 to $500 to handle the paperwork on their behalf. The Medicare Savings Program application is completely free. It takes about 15 minutes. It is filed through your state Medicaid office or with free assistance from SHIP, your state health insurance assistance program. There is no authorized private company with special access to this benefit. Anyone offering to get your premium reduced or refunded for an upfront payment is not connected to the program. End that call. How to apply. Call your state health insurance assistance program, SHIP, for free one-on-one help with the application. Find your state's SHIP contact number at shiphelp.org or call your state Medicaid office directly. When someone answers, say, I am on Medicare, I am on a fixed income, and I want to find out if I qualify to have my Part B premium paid through the Medicare Savings Program. That sentence is enough to start the process. Getting your Part B premium eliminated stops one bill from leaving your Social Security check before you see it. But there are other rules pulling money out before it reaches you that most seniors never address. The W-4V withholding rate that sends your own money to the IRS 12 months early. The provisional income formula that may be taxing your Social Security when the law says it should not be taxed at all. Both are covered step by step in the Senior Money Defense Playbook. The link is in the description below or scan the QR code on your screen right now to get your copy directly. The second program hits a bill that for many seniors on a fixed income feels like it has no ceiling at all. Surprise 2. the federal program that pays your energy bill. The Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, known as LIHEAP, is a federal program administered through your state that helps seniors and low income households pay their energy costs. Depending on your household, your income, and your state, it can put anywhere from a couple $100s up to around $1,000 directly toward your bill, typically paid straight to your utility company, so you never have to touch the money at all. Most people have never heard of it, and the ones who have tend to make two assumptions that both cost them money. The first assumption is that this program is only for people who rent. Whether you rent or own your home, you can apply. Home ownership does not disqualify you. The second assumption is that it only matters in winter. That assumption is where the conversation usually ends, and it is where most of the money gets left behind. LIHEAP covers cooling assistance as well as heating. For an older adult living on an income, air conditioning in the heat of summer is not a luxury. Heat-related illness is a documented and serious risk for seniors, and the electricity bill from running air conditioning during peak months can be just as damaging to a fixed income as a winter gas bill. Most states have a separate cooling component available during summer months, and it operates through the same program. The same application that helps you in January can help you manage the electricity cost in July. Here is the part of LIHEAP that almost nobody mentions when this program comes up, and it is available all year long regardless of the season. Most states maintain a crisis component within LIHEAP that is separate from the regular heating and cooling assistance. This component is specifically designed for emergencies. A utility shut-off notice sitting on your table, a furnace that stopped working in the middle of January, an air conditioner that failed during a summer heat advisory. These are the situations the crisis component exists to address. Crisis funding does not wait for a standard application window. It is designed to respond within 24 to 48 hours in genuine emergencies. If you have a shut-off notice right now or a piece of essential equipment that has stopped working, the crisis component is the path to pursue immediately, not the regular application queue. Call 211 today and specifically ask whether a crisis energy assistance component is available in your area and how quickly it can respond. There is a third element within the energy assistance framework that most people have never heard of at all, and it is the one that provides the longest lasting benefit. The Weatherization Assistance Program connected to the broader LIHEAP framework provides funding to improve the energy efficiency of your home. Adding insulation, sealing windows and doors, servicing heating and cooling equipment, replacing inefficient systems, this is not a one-time bill payment. It is a permanent improvement that lowers your energy bill every single month going forward because your home retains heat better in winter and cool air better in summer. Seniors who own their homes and qualify can receive this assistance at no cost. If your home is older and your energy bills have crept higher over the years, this component is worth asking about specifically when you contact your state energy office. Who qualifies? Income eligibility for LIHEAP is typically set at 150% of the federal poverty level or 60% of your state's median income, whichever is higher. States set their own specific thresholds within those federal parameters. As a general guide, a single senior with annual income up to approximately $22,000 is likely within range in most states. A married couple may qualify at higher combined income depending on the state's threshold. Your home ownership does not disqualify you. Whether you rent or own, the program is available. The energy bill simply needs to be in your name or connected to your household. LIHEAP funding is limited each year. Each state receives a federal allocation, and when that allocation is exhausted, the program closes to new applications until the next funding cycle begins. States typically prioritize households with the most vulnerable members, and older adults on fixed incomes are consistently at the top of that priority list. But being a priority does not mean being automatically enrolled. You have to be in line to be served. And in a number of states, particularly during periods of high energy costs, funding has run out before the end of the application season. Do not wait until the first cold snap or the first truly hot week to apply. Apply now while funding is available and while the application process can move at a normal pace rather than during a crisis. Here is the scam that targets seniors specifically around energy assistance. And it is particularly aggressive because it operates under an umbrella that sounds official. Companies and callers contact seniors claiming they can reduce their energy bill significantly or get them government energy credits, often for a fee or in exchange for their utility account number to process a special government benefit on their behalf. LIHEAP is a free program. It is administered by your state energy assistance office or a local community action agency. No private company has special access to LIHEAP funds. No third party can process a government energy credit by taking your utility account number over the phone. If anyone contacts you with an offer like this, that is the scam. Do not provide your utility account number to any inbound caller. End the call. How to apply? The simplest path is to dial 211. That is a free helpline available in most of the country that will connect you directly to the energy assistance office that serves your area. It is free to call, and the person who answers will tell you exactly which office to contact, what documents to bring, and when the application window is open. When you reach the Energy Assistance Office, say I am a senior on a fixed income and I want to apply for energy assistance. I also want to ask whether a crisis component or a weatherization program is available in my area. That one sentence opens every part of the program at once. The third surprise is the biggest of the three for the right person. Not a discount, not a bill being covered, an entire second monthly check arriving on top of whatever Social Security you already receive. Before I get into it, quickly, if you are not yet subscribed, this channel breaks down exactly these kinds of programs every week in plain language before the deadlines pass and the funding runs out. Subscribe right now and turn on the bell. And let us talk about this second check surprise 3. The second monthly check most seniors do not know they can receive. I need you to hold two things apart in your mind before we go any further, because this is exactly where most people get it wrong and walk away from money that was theirs. There is Social Security, the retirement check you earn through decades of work and contributions. That check belongs to your work history and it is based on what you paid in over your career. And then there is Supplemental Security Income, called SSI. That is a completely separate federal program for people who are 65 or older or who have a disability and who are living on limited income with limited savings. SSI is not based on your work history. It is based on your current financial situation. The mistake that costs people the most is assuming that because they already receive a Social Security check, they cannot receive SSI as well. That is simply not true. If your Social Security benefit is on the smaller side, you can very often receive SSI on top of it. One does not cancel out the other. They are two separate programs and you can qualify for both. With the 2.8% cost of living adjustment that took effect in 2026, the maximum federal SSI payment for a single person is $994 per month. For a couple, the maximum is $1,491 per month. If you already receive some Social Security income, your SSI payment is typically reduced by a portion of that amount, so you may not receive the full $994, but reduced is not nothing. Even a partial SSI check every single month adds up to real money over a year. A senior receiving $300 per month in partial SSI is collecting $3,600 per year on top of their existing Social Security that they were not collecting before. That is the kind of difference that turns a retirement where every month is difficult into one where the finally works. The state supplement most seniors never hear about. Here's the angle on SSI that almost nobody mentions when covering this program. And it can meaningfully increase the total monthly amount above what the federal numbers suggest. 12 states plus the District of Columbia add their own supplemental payment on top of the federal SSI amount. Those states are California, Delaware, Hawaii, Iowa, Michigan, Montana, Nevada, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, the District of Columbia. If you live in one of these states, your total monthly SSI payment could be significantly higher than the federal maximum. Some state supplements add over $200 per month on top of the federal amount. A senior in California, for example, receives a state supplement on top of the $994 federal payment that can push the combined total considerably higher. If you live in one of these 12 states and you believe you might qualify for SSI, the number you are potentially walking past is larger than the federal figure alone suggests. Ask specifically about your state's supplemental payment when you contact the SSA. SSI does look at your resources, meaning your savings and assets, and this is where most seniors disqualify themselves without ever checking the actual rules. The federal resource limit is $2,000 for a single individual and $3,000 for a couple, but here is what does not count toward that limit. Your primary home does not count, regardless of its value. Your car generally does not count. A burial fund of up to $1,500 does not count. Household goods and personal belongings do not count. Life insurance policies with a face value of $1,500 or less do not count. So before you look at the house you own or the car in the driveway and decide you are disqualified, understand that neither of those is part of the resource calculation. The limit applies to liquid assets, primarily your bank accounts and investments, not the physical things you own and depend on. The recheck message for seniors who were turned down before. This is the most important thing I can say about SSI for seniors who have already looked at this program and walked away. If you applied in a prior year and were turned down, or if you assumed years ago that your income or resources were too high, that decision may be out of date. Every year, the cost of living adjustment increases the income and resource threshold slightly. A senior who was $50 per month over the income limit in 2024 may be comfortably under it in 2026 without changing a single thing about their own financial situation. The line moved, not by a dramatic amount, but sometimes $50 is the entire difference between the door being open and the door being closed. Nobody is going to call to tell you the threshold moved and you now qualify. The only way to find out is to check again. One phone call, it costs you nothing. Here is one more piece of the SSI picture that almost nobody covers. SSI applications typically take 3 to 5 months to process. If you apply and are approved, benefits generally begin from your application date, but the waiting period itself is not paid retroactively. For a senior in a tight financial situation, 3 to 5 months is a long time to wait. If you are in a genuine financial emergency during that waiting period, meaning you do not have enough for food, shelter, or medical care, you can request an emergency advance payment from the Social Security Administration. This is a one-time payment issued against your expected SSI benefit for situations where the need is immediate and documented. Ask specifically about the emergency advance when you apply if your situation cannot wait 3 months. The SSA representative handling your application can walk you through the documentation needed to request it. How to apply. Apply directly through the Social Security Administration. You can apply online at ssa.gov by calling 1-800-7722-1213 or in person at your local Social Security office. When you call or visit, say, "I am 65 or older and I want to apply for supplemental security income and find out whether my income and resources qualify." It is free to apply. No one can legally charge you a fee to file an SSI application on your behalf. If any company or caller offers to handle your SSI application for a fee, that is a scam. The SSA processes these directly and at no cost to you. And if you were turned down before, apply again. The thresholds move with the COLA every year. The only way to know whether you qualify today is to ask today, not to rely on an answer you received in a year when the numbers were different. Let me add up what these 3 programs look like stacked together for someone who qualifies for each one, because when you see the numbers side by side, the total lands differently than any single piece does on its own. The Medicare Savings Program eliminates the Part B premium. That is $2,434.80 returned to your Social Security check every year. In the most generous QMB tier, your deductibles and copays disappear on top of that. An automatic extra help for Part D brings your drug costs down to $5.10 for generics and $12.65 for brand name medications. The SSA estimates extra help alone is worth approximately $5,700 per year. The Energy Assistance Program can direct several hundred to over $1,000 toward your heating and cooling bills annually, paid straight to the utility company. The crisis component is available year-round for emergencies, and the weatherization component reduces what you pay on that bill every month going forward permanently. A partial SSI check, even well below the $994 federal maximum, can add thousands of dollars per year on top of an existing Social Security benefit. In states with their own supplemental payments, that monthly total is higher still. For a senior who qualifies for all three, we are not talking about a modest adjustment. We are talking about the kind of difference that changes what retirement actually feels like month to month. Roughly 1 in 3 seniors who qualify for programs like these never claim a single dollar. Not because they do not deserve it, not because they do not need it, because nobody explained it plainly, and nobody told them the door was open. The seniors who collect these benefits are not luckier than the ones who do not. They did not work harder or earn it more. They simply found out the programs existed, and they filed the application. That is the only difference. You now know all three exist. The next step is acting on that before another year passes. For the Medicare Savings Program, go to shiphelp.org to find your state's free SHIP counseling line, or call your state Medicaid office directly. Say, I am on Medicare. I want to find out if I qualify to have my Part B premium paid. Let them run your numbers before you decide anything. For energy assistance, dial 211 today. Ask for your local energy assistance office. Ask whether a crisis component is available if your need is immediate, and ask whether a weatherization program is available for your home. Do not wait until winter or peak summer. Funding runs out. For SSI, call 1-800-77-21213 or go to ssa.gov and apply. If you were turned down in a prior year, apply again. The COLA adjustment moves the thresholds every year, and the answer you received in 2023 or 2024 may not reflect what you qualify for today. These three programs are part of a larger picture of money that belongs to seniors and sits uncollected because nobody explained where to find it. There are other rules I cover that work the same way. The Social Security earnings record error that has been quietly reducing your monthly check for years without a notification. The Medicare IRMA surcharge running on income you stopped earning 2 years ago. The W-4V withholding rate, sending your own money to the IRS 12 months before you owe it. The bank account rule that can freeze your deposit before it reaches you. All of it documented, all of it fixable, none of it explained to you automatically by any agency. I put all of it together in the Senior Money Defense Playbook. Every government form named, every phone number listed, every action step written out in plain English so you know exactly what to do and exactly when. If even one chapter puts 1 month of uncollected money back in your account, the guide has paid for itself many times over. The link is in the description below this video and in the channel bio, or scan the QR code on your screen right now to get your copy directly. It is called the Senior Money Defense Playbook. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Share this with one person you know who is 65 or older on a fixed income and has never once checked whether they qualify for any of these three programs. They may be sitting on thousands of dollars a year they have never heard of. You can be the reason they finally find out. I will see you in the next one.